I'm being charged with second-degree murder now?
Vehicular homicide and leaving the scene caused death and or bodily injury.
She's got a leaky balloon knot.
Trooper Proctor, explain to the jurors what a balloon knot is.
I don't even have underwear. Can I put pants on?
Again, your parents can come over here and retrieve anything. You speak to me at all right now?
No.
Who was it that you were referring to as retarded?
Miss Reed.
Karen Reed, the woman sitting to my left.
Yes, sir.
The subject of your investigation as a professional, correct?
Yes, sir.
As an unbiased, objective investigator, the person that you were investigating, you referred to your bosses as retarded.
Poor language on my part.
Poor language is one way to put it. Completely offensive is another way to put it, right? What did you write after you talked about going through the, quote, retarded client's phone?
We're back with former trooper Michael Proctor. He's going through the text messages he sent between him and his high school buddies. He was texting his buddies while conducting the extensive investigation that lasted 17 hours, for which he concluded Karen Reed killed John O'Keefe.
No nudes so far.
No nudes so far, correct?
Correct.
And you said that to your bosses.
Yes, sir.
Do you believe that your text messages were reflective of an objective investigator?
I believe poor jokes have, in unprofessional language, have no bearing on the integrity and the facts and physical evidence of this case.
And then what did you write?
She's fucked.
She's fucked, right?
Correct.
17 hours into this investigation, Trooper Proctor, you made the decision that you were going to put it on Miss Reed, didn't you?
No, absolutely not.
What did you mean then when you said she's fucked?
After the day's investigation with multiple troopers conducting multiple tasks.
After a long day's investigation. After a long day's investigation.
Debriefing at Canton PD amongst detectives in my office, we went through.
That's Proctor on body cam arresting Karen for the second time. Her initial charges were minor. Eventually she got a free upgrade to a second-degree murder charge and was arrested for a second time, and this is the body cam from that.
She's more concerned with she looks like on TV.
The overwhelming amount of evidence against Miss Reed that she struck Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle. That's what I meant by that comment.
And then Bird decides to chime in, good, no-ass bitch, right?
Yes, that's what he wrote.
We heard from Bird, one of Proctor's high school buddies, in the last video. He was actually giving good advice to Proctor with regard to the investigation, but now he just said Karen's a no-ass bitch.
How did you respond to Bird saying, good, no-ass bitch?
I laughed.
Thought that was funny, did you, Trooper Proctor? Thought that was funny?
It was unprofessional of me. That's something I shouldn't have done.
Well, I think we all know it was unprofessional. It was a lot of things. I'm asking you, did you think it was funny?
Well, according to my response at the time, apparently.
Then you sent a picture, just to add to it, to pile on, of Miss Reed being arrested, correct?
Have a seat there for me. Ready, 1, 2, 3.
Do you see the immense importance in our legal system for the ability to cross-examine and face your accuser? Just because someone makes an allegation, it doesn't mean it's true.
A person by the name of Doc writes, is that chick a smoke?
We've heard from Bird, but now we got a new buddy, Doc, here.
Correct.
Who's the chick?
Miss Reed.
And then you write nutbag, as Chief would say, correct?
Correct.
Who's Chief?
A friend of mine.
Now we add Chief to Doc and Bird.
She's got a leaky balloon knot.
Trooper Proctor, explain to the jurors what a balloon knot is.
Your, essentially, I guess your rectum area.
Your anus?
Yes.
That's what you were referring to about Miss Reed?
Yes.
And you were making fun of her because you believed at that time that it leaked? That's how you were treating Miss Reed? Yes or no?
Yes.
You followed that up with the phrase, leaks poo, didn't you?
I did.
Again, another reference to Miss Reed's medical issues and medical conditions, correct?
Correct.
Specifically focused on her anus, correct?
In reference, yes.
Down here. Did you put right? You turn left.
This is the reality Karen had to face based upon this faulty investigation and intentional cover-up.
I gotta search you, okay? Yeah, can you pull the pockets out so I don't have to Nothing in the pockets, nothing in the waistband, anything.
Well, you weren't done yet. This chat doesn't end yet, does it?
Oh no, Proctor looks down. There's still a novel left.
No, sir.
Person by the name of Whitey wrote, "What are you guzzling on?" Correct?
All right, now we're adding Whitey to Bird, Doc, and Chief.
And you wrote nothing, writing a warrant. Is that right?
Correct.
Why does her asshole leak?
Yes, that's what he wrote.
And then what did Doc write in response to that? Throughout the pendency of this investigation, in this case, you've denied having any conflict of interest in this case. Isn't that right?
Correct.
And you testified under oath in that proceeding that you did not know any members of the Albert family or McCabe family. Correct?
Certain members of the Albert family I did not know. I know Chris and Julie and Colin.
I didn't know any of the Alberts except for Chris, Julie, and Colin.
I don't know the McCabes.
That wasn't my question. Let's take them one at a time. Did you testify under oath that you did not know and did not have any relationship with members of the Albert and McCabe families?
I haven't had a chance to review those minutes. I've only had one opportunity to, and that was...
You son of a bitch liar. You took away a girl's freedom after a 17-hour investigation. And who knows what you did with that taillight. Now you're lying under oath about your relationship with the people that you're supposed to be investigating.
A couple months ago.
You told First Assistant Beelan that you didn't know, didn't have a relationships with
Objection, Your Honor.
members of the Albert and McCabe families. Answer, correct. Do you recall that?
Yes.
That you, in fact, told members of the DA's office that you did not know and did not have a relationship with the Alberts or McCabes. Is that right?
I did not know the McCabes. I don't know most of the Alberts, and I have little to no relationship with Chris and Julie. So that's what I meant by that answer.
Well, the question wasn't, did you know most of the Alberts?
Okay, no pocket in the shirt.
The question was, did you have a relationship with, or did you know the Alberts? And your answer was, no.
No, I don't have a relationship with the Alberts.
Or know them.
I don't know the McCabes. I don't have a relationship with the Alberts.
So you do know the Alberts, correct?
I know some of them, Julie and Chris.
And Colin, correct?
Correct, and Colin.
And you knew the Alberts when you gave this testimony in February of 2024. Is that right?
Yeah, they asked if there was any relationships.
Are you aware of any circumstance in which any of the Alberts have been over to your parents' house?
Yes. I don't know the McCabes. I don't have a relationship with the Alberts.
Have you ever been over at your parents' house when any of the Alberts have been at your parents' house?
Yes.
Those Alberts include Chris Albert, Julie Albert, Colin Albert, correct?
Correct. I don't know the McCabes. I don't have a relationship with the Alberts.
You recognize that as being from Julie Albert? This is the weekend I've been waiting for. Michael, please send ski video.
That's a text message from Julie Albert to Proctor.
If CP doesn't share with me, with a laughing face, correct?
Correct.
That text was sent on February 24th, 2022, wasn't it?
Yes.
That was less than a month after Mr. O'Keefe's death, isn't that right?
Correct.
But in fairness, he had already solved the crime.
I don't know the McCabes. I don't have a relationship with the Alberts.
And less than a month after you had been assigned to the investigation in which Julie Albert was a witness, correct?
Correct.
And her husband, Chris Albert, was a witness, correct?
Correct.
And her son, you knew, Colin,
I don't have a relationship with the Alberts.
was involved as well, correct?
Yes.
10 days before Mr. O'Keefe's death, you were texting with your sister about whether Julie Albert might be available to babysit for your own son, correct?
Yes. I don't know the McCabes. I don't have a relationship with the Alberts.
So in fact, your relationship with the Alberts was close enough that you would consider leaving your own child in the hands of Julie Albert as a babysitter, as a caregiver for your toddler, correct?
I wouldn't say close enough. I've hired babysitters that I've had out, but I don't know.
There, I tend to agree. Kids are so annoying, you leave them with anyone just to get out of the house.
There is simply no evidence of Trooper Proctor having a close connection with the homeowners. There is simply no evidence.
Quiet, please.
That was at Karen's bail hearing for the second arrest, and the lawyer for the state represented to the court that Proctor did not know the Alberts. And you can see old Turtle Boy's reaction.
As the lead investigator and the case agent, you're aware it's also your responsibility and your obligation to investigate all potential individuals, right? All potential suspects.
Yes.
You're obligated to investigate anybody who would have a motive, a means, and an opportunity to commit the crime or the offense, correct?
Correct.
Motive includes anything from financial gain to could just be revenge, right?
Human apes kill for two reasons, sex or money.
Yes.
Or it could be someone who's interested in someone romantically, correct?
So, or it could be an argument contained inside a vehicle as well.
Listen to that snarky-ass answer.
Yeah, which is the conclusion you jumped to 17 hours into your investigation, right?
It's something, evidence we have contained within cell phones reiterates that fact.
So when you decided that the girl, Ms. Reed, was going to get serious charges against her, didn't have any indication of any intent, you just decided, oh, okay, I'm just going to go with the physical evidence today. I'll figure out intent later. I'll figure out motive later, right?
Yes.
I can't believe he admitted to that.
What about means? The physical ability to commit the crime, right? That's obviously important.
Yes.
And the opportunity. It's a physical proximity to the incident, correct? Or the
Correct.
physical ability to commit the crime, correct?
Correct.
Did you investigate all potential suspects who would have had the motive, means, and opportunity to kill John O'Keefe?
Obviously, he had 17 hours to do it.
Yes, and that motive, means, factored in with the physical evidence pointed directly at Miss Reed. There's no one else had any motive. Mr. O'Keefe never went inside Fairview Road.
John never came in the house. Tell them the guy never went into the house. John never came in the house.
Mr. O'Keefe never went inside Fairview Road.
Who's the guy?
John.
John O'Keefe. Tell them that the guy never came in the house.
John never came in the house.
Chris should tell them the guy never came in the house.
John never came in the house.
Mr. O'Keefe never went inside Fairview Road.
Something happened on the front lawn that had nothing to do with anything inside that house.
We are getting so much closer. We now have narrowed this crime down to the minutes Karen arrived at 34 Fairview to the moment she left. It's not a big window. Did you hear that admission?
Something happened on the front lawn that had nothing to do with anything inside that house.
Whatever happened on the lawn didn't happen in the house. She may be telling the truth there. Was Higgy Bear in that driveway? Was Higgy Bear in the lawn, on the driveway, when John O'Keefe got out? Karen said in her documentary she had the radio blasting, the heat going, and she was probably drunk when John exited the vehicle. We were going to find out what happened on that lawn. Was it one punch, hit the back of the head, hide the body next to the Jeep in the driveway? Is that why they're all lying about the Jeep being in front of the house? You see how effective their collective statement was that John never came in the house. Proctor relied upon that statement during his 17-hour investigation to conclude Karen did it.
And you got all that, of course, from the Albertson case, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about Brian Higgins for a second. You personally interviewed Mr. Higgins, correct?
Tattoos are an indicator of mental disorder, and look at old Higgy Bear here. He looks quite different than the lovable, chubby Higgy Bear that we see on the stand.
Sergeant Buchanan and I did, yes.
He's a fellow law enforcement officer, and you knew that, right?
Yes.
You waited until February 10th to conduct a pre-scheduled interview with Mr. Higgins, didn't you?
Yes.
And you interviewed him in the presence of his attorney, correct?
Correct.
He told you that he was engaged in a flirtatious relationship
If you're an innocent witness, why would you bring an attorney? But if you witnessed a car accident, would you hire an attorney to talk to the police about what occurred? I don't think so.
with Miss Reed.
He did.
And you were asked whether or not in your career as a law enforcement officer has any person or witness ever brought a self-extraction of text messages to an in-person interview, correct? Your answer was, Trooper Proctor, you had never.
Higgy Bear met with an FBI friend of his, went to a machine that can extract text messages from a phone. He decided which text messages to extract, printed them out, and then gave them to Proctor. Can you imagine relying upon a potential criminal to decide what information to hand over from his phone?
Experienced that in the history of your career, correct?
Correct.
So you became aware pretty early on that Mr. Higgins at least had a motive to want to visit harm on John O'Keefe, correct?
No, absolutely not.
Well, you knew he had this flirtatious relationship with Karen Reed, is that right? You became aware that Karen Reed actually ignored text messages from Mr. Higgins while at the Waterfall Bar and Grill with John O'Keefe, correct? At 2:20 a.m., Brian Higgins sent a text message to John O'Keefe prompting him to go to 34 Fairview, correct?
I don't recall that text.
Do you recall a text from Brian Higgins to John O'Keefe after they left Waterfall? Where are you at?
I don't recall that one either.
Brian Higgins certainly had the means to commit the crime, correct?
No, I don't.
He's a big guy, certainly had the physical ability to get into a physical altercation with John O'Keefe, correct?
Just because he's a big guy doesn't mean doesn't have the means or the motive to hurt Mr. O'Keefe.
I wouldn't ask.
They were friends. They were friends.
He said, "You're kind of a loner." I responded, "No, not really. I have a ton of buddies, but I only let a handful of friends in that I'm tight with." And then I typed "circle of trust" in quotes.
Some circle of trust. The second John turns his back, you're making out with his girlfriend.
They were friends.
Defendant responded, "You're hot." I responded, "Are you serious or messing with me?" Defendant responded, "No, I'm serious." I responded, "Failing is mutual. Is that bad?"
The motive to hurt Mr. O'Keefe. They were friends.
I wasn't asking about motive. I'm asking about means. Could he throw a punch? Knock a guy down, knock a guy out?
I can't speak to his fighting ability, sir.
Well, you've met him. Yeah, he's huge. Do you agree? He's a big dude, right?
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Bigger than me, right?
Yeah.
Bigger than you.
Yep.
And literally in the minutes before John O'Keefe's death, you saw video surveillance of Brian Higgins and Brian Albert taking fighting stances with one another, correct?
I interpreted that as horsing around.
Do you see how critical our community is? The defense team didn't recognize in the surveillance video that Higgins was actually taunting and screaming at John O'Keefe just moments before he left and just a few minutes before he died. That's the importance of being diligent, having grit, and putting everyone to work in this community.
I didn't ask you how you interpreted Trooper Proctor. Did you see it or not?
I did, yes.
And you decided not to image his phone. Is that right?
Correct.
You
Nah, why do that?
didn't ask for consent to search his phone or to take his phone, correct?
No.
You didn't seek a search warrant to get his phone. Is that right?
Nah.
No, sir.
On January 29th at 2:22 a.m., there was a call between him and Brian Albert that morning.
I was not aware of that.
Might have been important to your investigation, don't you think?
Depends what I don't know what the call was about.
Sorry, finish that. Depends.
I don't know what the call was about.
Exactly. Because he concluded his investigation before he had all the information.
I don't know if they actually connected and communicated what the length of the call was. So
Exactly.
Right. And you never asked, did you?
I was unaware that call took place.
And you
Exactly.
were unaware that that call took place because you didn't get his phone, Trooper Proctor, right?
Typically, we don't get witnesses' phones, sir.
You were unaware of that call at that time because you didn't seek his phone, correct?
That's exactly right. And this big dope should hang his head in shame. Acting so tough when he's arresting Karen or blabbing the bird Doc, Chief, and Whitey. Then he's a tough guy.
I mean, you can take that, okay?
This is the sad reality when you rush to judgment and mentally exclude any evidence that contradicts your initial determination. Theming is so important when you're preparing for trial. You must formulate simple but effective themes for which all your evidence supports. No crash, no body, no crime. No crash, there was no accident. No body, there was no body on the lawn before 3:30. We know that. If there's no body, there is no crime. No crash, no body, no crime. By Karen. And to support that theme, all we need to do is look at old Higgy Bear and where he was during this time. No crash, no body, no crime.